Yo, what's up, everybody? Duncan here. And today I'd like to talk about how I learned Russian. And this is not going to be a video that explains what you need to do in order to learn it. This is simply just going to be me going through a timeline of how I studied it, my thought process behind it, and just kind of go through the journey of me learning the language. Maybe in another video, I'll get into more like specific aspects where I say like tips of what I would recommend other people to do. But anyways, I've been studying Russian for almost 20 months now, and I currently live in Russia in the city of Krasnodar. I've been in Russia for 3 months, and within that time, my Russian has improved dramatically. And I'm not going to go too much into giving examples of me speaking Russian. If you'd like to hear me speaking Russian, come check out my Twitch stream. You can see me out walking in Russia speaking with Russians. And it'll give you an idea of what my level is at. But all right, let's get right into how I learned Russian. All right, first off, in the beginning, it all started with a planted seed in my head. And that's really the best way to describe it, is a planted seed of motivation of something that gave me the drive to start studying Russian every day. And it was a combination of, I'd say, two things that were really that kind of pushing motivation. And those two motivations were, one, that I had never been outside of the USA before, and I felt really bad about it. And I wanted to, within my lifetime, I wanted to go out and have an adventure in another country, another land, new people, new culture, new language. And I had it in my imagination that I would go to this country and immediately when I get there be able to start speaking with the local natives or whatever. I thought that would be so cool, instead of like going there and having to have a translator with me, like a tour guide the whole time that like takes me around. I was like, it'd be so cool if I can just go there, just go out onto a town or a village or whatever and just start talking with people. For me, that was just so freaking cool to imagine that I just couldn't pass it up, and that was a big motivator. And then the second motivator would be that Russian girls are insanely beautiful, and I'm a Twitch streamer, like I said, and at the time that I started, Twitch was becoming popular with the kind of Russian audience. And I would start to just stumble upon Russian streamers, and I would see these pretty girls and be like, oh my God, like they look like some sort of like, I don't know, foreign creature or something, like the type of girl that I had never seen in America before. Not trying to be insulting to the American girls out there, but it just is what it is. And I was like, man, I wish I could know what these girls are saying, because it's just the pretty face and just like I had no idea what they were talking about. I'm like, wow, I wish I knew like what they were saying. And so I decided that was the dream. I wanted to go to Russia and have, as close to a fluent level as possible. From there, where do you start with Russian? Well, of course, the alphabet. They have a different alphabet than us. It's called the Cyrillic alphabet. And real quick, I'll show you the notes. These notes here. And so, yeah, I basically found, it's pretty easy to find a YouTube video that explains the Cyrillic alphabet. I won't tell you which video specifically I found. But, and also I looked on, there's many websites that'll kind of list it out. And just started with, first off, finding the similarities of letters between the Latin alphabet and the Cyrillic alphabet, like the B, Le, D. And there are some letters. I guess there's letters that look like the Latin alphabet, but might even sound different. So that was kind of confusing. As many people will tell you, with the Cyrillic alphabet, it might look like it's complicated. It might look like some sort of something like this, the scene from Stargate with the chalkboard, and he's trying to figure out the language there. It might look like something strange and foreign and just incomprehensible like this, but honestly, I believe that anyone can learn the Cyrillic alphabet within 3 days to a week at most. It's really not that complicated. that was the first part there. Simply just learning the alphabet, the pronunciation of these kind of individual letters. And then, so what's next after that? All right, so after that, the next step is YouTube and just looking up a lot of videos of beginner Russian, Russian beginner, the first steps of kind of learning Russian. And I think a really good one to start off with, or what I started off with, was Real Russian Club. This channel right here. And if you look up Russian language immediately, you see this video here. Her lesson number 1. And she goes through and explains, just the very basics. So, and all right. At the same time that I was doing this, I was also, there was a big focus in my head of finding like basic phrases that I use in my own everyday speech. When I'm just having a basic conversation of the most simplified form, what type of, what phrases or popular words do I most commonly use? And that's what I wanted to start as my foundation for vocabulary. And obviously the things as simple as hello, how are you? I am hungry, etc. But I also would try to, as I'm making my attempt to communicate with a Russian, I'm trying to say something like, how do you pronounce this? Как произношение? Как будет на русском? How would this be? I think that was an important, necessary step in the beginning, is just simply the questions of, how do you pronounce this? Is this correct? Это правильно? Верно? Or whatever. Just that base foundation of the necessary kind of building blocks of the simplified everyday speech. I'll show you some of the papers here. Now, I've got many, many papers like this. I did a lot of note taking. I would write the English word in red, and then in blue, I would write the Russian variant. And you can tell that this is from the beginning of when I started to learn Russian, because the words are so impeccable and beautiful. And I took my time on, the little Cyrillic letters and stuff. Whereas now, whenever I write, it's like, it looks like absolute crap. But in these early days, I would really take my time, when I'm doing my notes, to make it look nice and clean and pretty. And these are just some examples. And I guess I can kind of just burn through some pages here, just so you can see, just a bunch of examples of different note-taking. Which, by the way, I'd like to mention that at the time that I began studying Russian, that's also when I began my Twitch stream. So this video here is a recording from one of my early Twitch streams of me. As I said, I would watch a lot of these beginner Russian YouTube videos, and I would kind of be doing my notes, and I'd be streaming myself as I'm doing this. And I set the language on my Twitch to Russian so that it would bring in Russian viewers. And with this, kind of each day, Russian viewers would trickle in, and they would be kind of interested to watch this American suffer and, try to help them out a little bit with learning this complex language. So yeah, I'm just showing kind of bits and pieces of the early days here. This is from February 18th, 2020. So this is right at the very beginning, pretty much, of me learning the language. And so yeah, this is what it was like in the beginning. It's just finding a video, finding the common phrases, что нового, what's up, what's new, And one interesting thing that I would like to mention with these YouTube videos, very often when I would search for YouTube videos of the top 10 phrases you need to know before you go to Russia. Very often on these videos, my Russian viewers watching would tell me we don't say that. Nobody says that. And that is a problem with some of the YouTube videos, or these instructional, phrases that you need to know videos, is there's a lot of them that Russians simply don't use. And also, like, in another example I can give is there's a lot of videos on, let's say, for example, Russian superstitions. At least if you're talking about the younger sort of, crowd, under 60 years old or whatever in Russia, you're not going to come across a lot of people like, oh, you have broken the rule of some strange superstition. Like, that's never happened to me in Russia. And no one has ever mentioned any sort of superstition to me in any sort of context. So, there are a lot of videos on YouTube that'll talk about, Russian superstitions you need to know. And it's like, you don't really need to know it. Like, really, at the end of the day, what you need to know is kind of conversational stuff to get your point across of, the meaning that you're trying to get across. Like, if you're in a store trying to order a carton of eggs or something, I don't know, like, just that's going to be the kind of main important stuff. And like I said, it was very useful to have those Russian viewers with me at the time of beginning, because if I simply relied on the YouTube videos, and especially if I just relied on Google Translate, oh my God, Google Translate is like really, really bad sometimes. Like, it's so far off from the correct translation. But anyways, I can imagine that, without their help, my Russian would be really, really bad, and I would probably have started a lot of bad habits. So anyways, it's good to have a native Russian speaker to kind of work with as you're, learning the language. This would be a very difficult language to learn on your own. All right, so what's the next step after that? After you've watched all these YouTube videos, after been taking notes, well, I just simply continued to watch YouTube videos, up to, try to find a little bit higher level stuff, and continued constantly taking notes. And that's what I did for a long time, pretty much up to the point of when I came to Russia. I guess it's important to talk on how it was when I came to Russia. It was very difficult communicating with people here for the first week, maybe first 2 weeks. It was extremely difficult to communicate with people. And I guess specifically what the problem was is just getting used to the culture of, how to talk to someone, because the sort of reaction that you're going to get from approaching someone and talking to them in Russia is going to be very different than how it would be in America. And it does take some time to get used to that. Also, just simply, Russians talk really fast. And unlike Americans, like if an American has if they meet some Chinese or whatever foreigner and they're like, oh, hello, my English not so good, can we, like, if it's obvious that this person is a foreigner who has not quite learned the language, I think Americans will naturally be like, well, my name is Duncan. What is your name? We'll naturally kind of dumb down or slow down our speech, but that is not the case in Russia. That is not the case. They will not slow down their speech for you. And even if you ask them to slow down their speech, they'll do it for one sentence and then they'll completely forget that you ever asked right afterward. So that was, a complicated part. But eventually, after being here within the first couple weeks, I started to notice a dramatic improvement, and it's continued to steadily improve since. And I've also became more confident with approaching people. Like, it used to be for the first month and a half, when I would approach a Russian person to, try to ask them something or start up a conversation, in my head I'd be like, oh fuck, I hope I can understand. I hope we can figure out together what what we're both trying to communicate. But now I have absolutely zero worry or zero fear whenever I approach a Russian person here. Even if there is the complications of me not knowing a word, I have so much experience now with figuring out, like, maybe like noticing what they're saying, kind of grabbing the context, and then I'll repeat back to them like, oh, did you mean this? In my own, and I'll say it in my own simplified form, and they'll be like, yeah, exactly. And so it's always, I'm always confident that it'll get figured out. All right, so that pretty much sums it up there. And I plan to continue studying, writing notes, communicating and practicing as much as possible, and continuing toward my goal of speaking at a fluent level, like as on the level of a native. That is my dream. And I do think that that will happen one day. And like I said, already being here in Russia, it's improving very quickly. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And please don't forget, like and subscribe. I'm getting so close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is going to be a big milestone for my channel. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to write in comments. And I think that'll be a video for another time, is my suggestions of what you should do if you're studying Russian. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.